Today on the CTV News at 5, why Randall Hopley will likely have his Alberta charges moved to the BC court system. Plus, the fallout from a wildcat strike by healthcare workers. And the women's hockey playoff drought at the U of L is officially over.
CTV News with Jackie Scantlebury.
Good afternoon. RCMP are now looking for another firearm connected to the shooting of two RCMP officers in Killam 10 days ago. Police are asking the public to keep an eye out for a semi-automatic Colt rifle believed to have been carried by 27-year-old Sawyer Robison. Robison is charged with 2 counts of attempted murder. The gun is described as a Colt law enforcement carbine. The semi-automatic rifle is likely black in color and shoots 5.56 NATO ammunition. Earlier this week, Mounties found another rifle and the truck believed to be used in the Killam shooting. The sniper rifle is the same soldiers in Afghanistan used. The gun is believed to have been in the possession of Sawyer Robinson, who is charged with the attempted murder of Officer Sid Godet, who's originally from Lethbridge, and his partner. Both officers have now been released from hospital. RCMP canine teams and about 25 officers have been searching an area southeast of Killam since Tuesday. And the case of a Lethbridge woman accused of defrauding a 97-year-old senior out of nearly $80,000 was back before the courts today. 63-year-old Lynn Faye McCracken is facing charges of theft over $5,000 and theft over $5,000. Police allege that she was hired to take care of a 97-year-old woman with dementia and then over a 3-year period took money from the victim's bank account. McCracken has pleaded not guilty to the charges. She'll return to court February 27th to set a trial date. And the man charged with kidnapping and then returning a young boy in Sparwood will likely have his other charges in Alberta moved to the BC court system. Randall Hopley is facing break-and-enter charges dating back to 2010 in the Crow's Nest Pass. A preliminary hearing was scheduled for March 23rd, but today the Crown prosecutor told the court a request had been made to move the charges to BC, where Hopley is in custody. The case will return to court on March 22nd, and at that point we'll find out if the charges have been moved or if the preliminary hearing will go ahead in Lethbridge. Hopley was out on bail on the break-and-enter charges when he was charged with abducting 3-year-old Keenan Hebert in September. Hopley is scheduled to appear in Cranbrook Court on Monday in relation to those charges. Protesters trying to shoot down a deer cull planned for Invermere are holding a rally tomorrow. The group Save the BC Deer have already won a temporary court injunction postponing the cull of 100 deer in the Invermere area. The protest will be held 1 o'clock at the Invermere Cenotaph. The deer cull is slated for next Friday. Dory Rossiter's here, and so is a really nice forecast.
Yeah, it's not bad at all for the family weekend. It's looking very sunny. It's looking very mild. Precipitation is going to be isolated to the mountain parks, and if you're a skier, that's good news for you. But here in the city of Lethbridge, we're just looking at a little bit of cloud cover, and that's the case for much of southern Alberta tomorrow. And then by the afternoon hours, though, we're back into sunshine. And as I said, temperatures are looking pretty good. I'll have all the details in a couple of minutes.
Thanks, Dory. And all that warm weather has allowed city officials in Lethbridge to lift a fire ban on the city's River Valley area. City officials advise the use of clean, dry wood and to make sure your fire is completely out before leaving it. The number of Lethbridge residents collecting employment insurance went up in December. The latest Stats Canada figures show 510 people were receiving or applied for EI benefits. That compares to 440 people in November, but it was considerably lower than a year ago. Back in December of 2010, there were 870 people receiving employment insurance checks, and that means year-to-year unemployment dropped by 41%. The fallout from yesterday's wildcat strikes at several Alberta hospitals continues today. Some AUPE workers staged a wildcat strike at hospitals in Lethbridge, Claresholm, Calgary and Edmonton, demanding a fair contract with Alberta Health Services. The Alberta Union of Provincial Employees workers have been without a contract since last March. They do everything from delivering meals to cleaning rooms in the hospitals. Although the impact locally has been minimal, dozens of surgeries across the province had to be cancelled because of the walkout. A union spokesman says the majority of workers walked out at the 3 Claresholm facilities, and some were off the job for up to to 6 hours. The union says at one point Alberta Health Services was preparing to apply for an injunction to force employees back to work. Speaking to CTV Morning Live, Liberal leader Ross Sherman says the walkout was a symptom of a greater problem with Alberta healthcare and the emergency system.
Our hospitals are plugged up by seniors who shouldn't be there. Let's get them out into home care or long-term care facilities. That will solve our ER problem. Our surgery beds are available for surgeries, and it gets the ambulances back on the street for 911.
Binding arbitration begins next week after both sides were able to agree upon an arbitrator. Well, the government of Alberta has announced almost $900 million in grants through the Municipal Sustainability Initiative, and Lethbridge did slightly better than expected. The city will receive just under $16.2 million. The majority of that, though, has been earmarked for funding and for the capital improvement program. Medicine Hat's share of the funding comes in at around $11.6 million. Brooks received just under $2.3 million. Alberta's Lieutenant Governor is in Lethbridge to recognize a local rehabilitation organization. Donald Ethel visited the Lethbridge Therapeutic Riding Association this afternoon. The organization offers partners horses with people dealing with physical and mental health issues. It gives them the chance to gain independence and get exercise that can't be reproduced in physiotherapy. Ethel dedicated a new building and congratulated organizers on 35 years of service. He says he understands the importance of mental rehabilitation. He suffered post-traumatic stress after serving in the Canadian Army.
I think it's important because that gives the individual that's be involved, be it a 64-year-old adult or a 4-year-old child, the confidence to get on board a horse, okay, and be able to guide and direct that horse.
Now, the new building was dedicated in honor of a longtime member of the riding club, 12-year-old Jacob Jeffries, who died in December. Family Day is fast approaching, and here are some events in Lethbridge and the surrounding area. The Rick Hansen Relay will make its way through the city starting at noon. The university is hosting a pirate-themed play day from noon until 4. Fort Whoop-Up is hosting its annual Family Day from 11 until 4. Admission is $2. And if you feel like leaving the city, you can check out the Carriage Country Fair in Cardston from 11 until 3. Also, Head Smash in Buffalo Jump is open from 10 until 5, and it's offering free admission. And with so much going on around southern Alberta, we wanted to know what your plans are for Family Day.
Going out to Kimberley for skiing.
I am honestly just working, so not a lot of big plans. So
I'm going to my cabin, and my family's going to come up, and we're going to go skiing.
And is it a tradition that you do every year, or?
We try.
Same old, same old. We go for a walk, and then that's about it. Yeah.
And just a reminder, there will be no transit service Monday for Family Day. Access-a-Ride will be running, but at a reduced service level. Both City Hall and the animal shelter are closed, and there is no garbage collection, or no change rather, in the garbage collection for Monday. Well, the Care from the Heart Radiothon surpassed all expectations. Radio stations from across the city were in the atrium of the hospital yesterday, broadcasting live to help raise awareness for and cash for the Chinook Regional Hospital Foundation. It's the single biggest fundraiser for the foundation. While donations are still coming in, at last count, more than $200,500 have been raised. This year, the funds will be used for equipment needed inside the pediatric unit. And a Lethbridge family gave a late Christmas present to a local community organization. The Groves family used 16,000 lights to create an automated lights display at their home throughout the Christmas season. Visitors made donations to help offset the family's power bill and support the Chinook Autism Society. And this week, the family donated more than $2,000 to the organization. The Groves family created the lights display because their 6-year-old son, Caleb, has autism, and he loves the flashing lights. In the markets today, the dollar closed on an up note again. Here are the closing numbers.